Where should the business leader take encouragement after leading a team using the 6C concept? Here is the 6C for the owner. When I moved to Canada as a single mother, I had nothing but determination and a child depending on me. I didn't know the city layout, didn't own a truck or learn how to fix it, and had zero customers. But I decided to go for it anyway. I started a pickup and delivery business from scratch. No investors. I managed to save some money and used my line of credit. No other support, just grit. It was very scary to start in foreign country with a child. I studied routes at night while my child slept, learned truck essentials, load security, and client expectations. All on the go. Every no I heard became fuel for the next years. I didn't wait for perfect conditions. I worked with what I had: a phone, a strong will, and a deep need to build a life on my own terms. Slowly, I mastered deliveries on time. My reputation grew, and so did the business. Not because I had all the answers. I had way more questions, in fact, but because I showed up every single day, committed, curious, and completely unstoppable. Looking back, I realized I didn't just build a business. I built confidence, freedom, and future for both of us. That decision to go on my own, it changed everything, and I'd do it all over again. Here I am talking about first C. Commitment in business isn't just about showing up. It's about sticking around when things get weird, slow, or downright messy. It's like a long-term relationship. Exciting at first, but eventually you're just arguing with spreadsheets at midnight. Without commitment, you'll jump ship the moment profits dip or the printer jams for the third time in a day. But with commitment, you tweak, you learn, you stay the course. That's how businesses grow roots and not just wings. Longevity doesn't come from luck. It comes from showing up even when you'd rather be binge-watching something less stressful than financial reports. Commitment isn't a magical personality trait. It's a habit, and yes, you can build it. No fairy dust required. Here is how individuals and teams can strengthen their commitment muscles. Set clear shared goals. If no one knows what the finish line looks like, don't be shocked when everyone starts wandering off for snacks. Celebrate small wins. Progress fuels commitment. Ring that bell when things go right, even if it's just fixing the coffee machine. Communicate openly. Transparency builds trust. Trust builds commitment, and nobody stays loyal to a black hole of silence. Lead by example. If leaders flake, teams break. Show up, stick with it, and others will follow. Own mistakes together. Commitment doesn't mean perfection. It means taking responsibility and improving as a team. Bonus points if you can laugh about it later. Strong commitment isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet, consistent, and a little stubborn in the best way. Once upon a deadline, a mid-sized business was cruising along until, bam, a major client pulled out. Cash flow plummeted, and panic spread faster than coffee through the office. Cue the blame game, whispered meetings, and awkward hallway nods. Morale tanked, productivity dipped, and the team started Googling careers that don't involve chaos. Then something radical happened. The CEO called an emergency town hall. Instead of spinning fairy tales, she laid out the numbers, the problem, and even her own missteps. She invited questions, welcomed feedback, and brace yourself, actually listened. That one honest conversation flipped the switch. Teams collaborated instead of panicked. Fresh ideas surfaced, trust rekindled, and slowly the business climbed out of the mess stronger than before. Open communication isn't a feel-good buzzword. It's a survival tool. When people know what's happening and feel safe to speak up, magic happens, or at least progress. Want to foster that magic? Schedule regular team check-ins and mean it. Reward honesty over sugarcoating. Make feedback normal, not just during annual reviews. Keep in mind, communication isn't just about talking. It's about listening like you mean it. Even if it's about the broken coffee machine, again, growth loves clarity. So speak up and grow on. Once a team was handed an impossible deadline: launch a new product in 6 weeks. Marketing wanted bold. Finance wanted cheap. Tech just wanted coffee. But instead of building silos and bunkers, they did the unthinkable. They actually collaborated. They shared ideas without eye rolls, asked questions without defensiveness, and found creative compromises. The marketer leaned into data, the developer explained constraints in plain English, and finance? They finally admitted some budget wiggle room. The result? A widely successful launch, under budget and ahead of schedule. Applause, high fives, and maybe a little celebratory cake followed. What made it work? Collaboration, powered by trust, respect, and a mix of voices at the table. Diversity wasn't just a checkbox, it was the secret sauce. Different experiences brought fresh solutions and challenged assumptions in the best way. Want that kind of magic in your team? Mix it up. Invite diverse roles, perspectives, and life experiences into every conversation. Encourage questions, not just answers. Reward team wins, not solo heroics. Use tech that actually helps, not hinders, like 27-tab spreadsheets. And most importantly, make collaboration the norm, not the emergency setting. Great teams don't just work together, they win together. Once upon a market shift, a small business known for selling office supplies hit a wall. Physical store was closed during a lockdown. Sales nosedived, pessimism peaked. The founder considered becoming a yoga instructor. But instead of folding, the team got scrappy. They turned their break room into a brainstorming hub with way too much coffee. Reimagined their services and launched office in a box kits, custom packages for remote workers delivered straight to doorsteps. Creative? Definitely. Risky? Yes. But it worked. Sales rebounded, the brand found a fresh niche, and yes, they kept the yoga mat just in case. What saved the business? Creativity and innovation. Not the fancy kind with lasers and lab coats, but the everyday kind powered by curiosity, collaboration, and a willingness to try something new. Want to spark that energy in your business? Host monthly brainstorms. No idea is too weird. Celebrate experiments, even flops. They're learning in disguise. Invest in team learning. Courses, books, even lunchtime TED Talks. Say yes more often than figure it out together. Innovation isn't a one-time event. It's a habit. And in business, not just survival, it's your unfair advantage. Once a local cafe noticed their neighborhood changing. Rents rising, families struggling. Instead of just serving lattes, they started a pay-it-forward wall. Anyone could pre-purchase a drink or meal for someone in need. Word spread. Customers came for coffee, stayed for the kindness, and kept coming back, bringing friends, good vibes, and a whole lot of Instagram stories. The cafe didn't just brew coffee, they brewed compassion, and it paid off. Revenues climbed, staff turnover dropped, community loyalty soared. Because people don't just support businesses, they support values they can believe in. Why does compassion matter in business? It builds real relationships. Empathy makes customers feel seen, employees feel valued, and communities feel supported. That's how trust and long-term loyalty is born. Want to lead with heart? Build social good into your mission, not just your marketing. Choose ethical suppliers so your values travel with your products. Support your team's well-being because burned out staff don't build sustainable success. Give back regularly, time, money, or just a little kindness. Compassion isn't weakness, it's a business superpower. In a world full of choices, people stick with the ones that care. Be that business. There was once an entrepreneur who had it safe, a stable 9-to-5, decent benefits, and just enough passion slowly dying inside her cubicle. Then one day, she did something wild. She quit, with no investors, no guarantee, and only a half-baked business plan. And a dream involving handmade eco packaging. She left. The first months were a roller coaster of what have I done and maybe I can do this. But that courage paid off. Today, her sustainable packaging company serves clients across the country and her old desk job. It's a great story for keynotes. The lesson: courage is messy, uncomfortable, and often the gateway to growth. Calculated risks don't mean reckless gambles. They mean informed leaps with a parachute of planning, purpose, and a pinch of boldness. Want more courage in your business? Encourage experimentation. Failure isn't fatal. It's feedback. Share your own risks and lessons. Show that boldness is welcome. Create a why not us culture, where status quo isn't the goal. Celebrate the try, not just the triumph, because trying is brave. Change favors the bold, and in business, courage isn't optional. It's the fuel that drives the next big leap.